What's up, Internet? It is day 4 of Bomber Week. We have cleared planets Bomber, Primus, and Kanatina. Now we start with planet 4, Mazone, and try and solve the mystery of who is Nitzrog. But I'll let you on a little secret. It's actually me misreading Nitros on my tiny monitor. Well, you could give it that explanation, or the fact that I haven't slept in, like, a week, just working on video stuff. Either way, let's get into it. So, Mazone. This is the last full-sized planet of the game, and just look at the Area 1 photo here for a sec. And tell me that is not a scene out of the original Donkey Kong Country. Like, I swear that looks like the first area, like a photo of it from the first Donkey Kong Country. Like, next to the lake with the mountains and stuff, yeah. And now we get to meet an old friend from, I believe it was the Super Nintendo Bomberman games. Although I haven't played them. I actually started with Bomberman 64. I started way late in the series. But, this planet doesn't have as many levels, I don't think. And we're going to try and get as low a score as possible. Trying to get a 0 whenever possible, except maybe bosses. Just because I really enjoy it's Louie, or Rui, depending on like what version you're playing, but yeah, it's your bunny, cat, kangaroo friend, who is one of Bomberman's like 2 mounts from the earlier ones I didn't play. And this actually changes up gameplay quite a lot, because you get to jump a lot higher. There's now wall jumping involved, which I've always found to be really fiddly in this game. It's like that. Speaking of wall jumping, Super Metroid. I was really bad at wall jumping in Super Metroid. Like, I never played it as a kid. Like, my game rental shop, I don't think it had it. And my video rental shop didn't either. I didn't see a copy. I've never seen an actual physical copy. The first time I played it was like around Christmas, a couple of years ago, like when it was on the Wii Virtual Console and I picked it up. And only this year did I actually manage to beat it. And I always got stuck at the same place. I either got stuck on Fantoon, like I couldn't beat him, or I got stuck in the path to Fantoon, like I'd get stuck in the hole where the little animals try and teach you wall jumping, and I never figured it out. Oh, I didn't get 0 points. But I've since run through Super Metroid. I still say Metroid Prime's a better game in my opinion, or rather, I like Metroid Prime better, but I'd say Super Metroid is a more perfect game. And Super Metroid's one of the few games I would ever call perfect. My brain doesn't work on minimal sleep, and yet that's what I have to deal with. Okay. This level's kind of neat, because you had to get, I think the exit's behind one of the waterfalls. And you'll see Louie again for one more level. I believe it's in the next area, though. I'm doing really bad. Okay, so what else has been going on? Oh, Virtual Console news. That's actually a week late, I guess, but, ow. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Anyway, I usually check Virtual Console news because I want to see if there's a game that I really like that came out on it. Well, last Thursday, a game I've been trying to get for the past decade or so came out on the 3DS Virtual Console. You can now get Harvest Moon 3. See? Those planets do get scary. I wasn't lying. You can get Harvest Moon 3 for the Game Boy Color on the 3DS, and that's I wouldn't say rare game, but it definitely holds its value. It generally sits at like the $40 mark, and we have to go again to go to Freeze Lake, I believe. But yeah, it typically holds its value, and I've never been able to get a copy. So I played it, and it's a ton of fun. I'm having a blast with it. I would say it's way better than the original Harvest Moon on Game Boy, but that game was by far the worst game in the series. Like, literally, you had the farm, and that was it. If you left the farm, you'd be presented with a series of menus, and then you were kicked back to the farm. And I think, I want to say Harvest Moon 2 on Game Boy Color was literally just a port of the first one, but but with, you know, Game Boy Color modification, so it can now play in color, but it's still, you know, the same shit-tacular game it was. Ha! Perfect score. I am awesome. So Harvest Moon 3 is pretty good. It's got snowboarding and a bunch of other random stuff. It's kind of weird that, it's got a story depending on if you're a boy or a girl, and if you're a boy, you really can't do too much with animals, and if you're a girl, you can't do a ton of stuff with planting plants. This is one of the... I would say this is like the hardest Bomberman level. I always had a ton of trouble with this level when I was a kid. But, yeah, the girl is delegated to dealing with the animals. And now you're seeing why I say this is the hard one. It drops a bunch of shit on you that you can't see. But, yeah. The girl can't do much about plants, and the boy can't do much about animals. But there is marriage, and that's an important thing. That's the thing I would say about any, Harvest Moon. Just as an open letter to Natsume, because I know they're listening, just like everyone else in the world, and not no one, is that if you're gonna make a Harvest Moon game, like, page 1 of the design doc, add marriage. Because that's a goal that I can at least, you know, gives me something to work towards. In fact, it's the first thing I always do in a Harvest Moon game is try and get married. And if a Harvest Moon game doesn't have marriage, it automatically loses, like, 20 points in the awesome spectrum, just because, you know, you're taking away, like, the first main thing. What do I do now? But Harvest Moon 3, it's pretty good. It's got some weird design choices, but I'm enjoying it so far. You can pick your animal at the beginning. I picked a bird because that was different. Still not as good as Harvest Moon 64. And unfortunately, I still need a copy of that. In fact, going back to my old Panzer Dragoon video, that was the official last game on the original list I wrote back in, like, grade 6 or whatever. If I can get Harvest Moon 64, I can say I finished my list. Although I still technically have Christmas Nights on that list. I do have the Nights HD game, which has a kind of bastardized version on it. Not very good. Speaking of Christmas Nights, I'm thinking about maybe making a Christmas Nights video like I did last year, but this one maybe I'll do some play-by-play narrative or something, just to make it a little more interesting. Mostly I was just coming into this video wanting to talk about Harvest Moon 64 and how great a game that was. That was the first Harvest Moon game I ever played. It had my favorite girl in it too, Karen. I always liked Karen because, I lost my perfect score. But she seemed like she had the most personality out of all the characters, being that she was kind of the weird, sort of sassy, drunk character. I kind of dug that, just because everyone else felt like a robot in that game. Oh, this is the level where you need the other elemental bombs, the ice bombs, and you gotta chuck them at these guys to make stairs. These bombs were later used in Second Attack. And while they weren't as utilitarian, they were still probably the most handy bomb in that game. Run away. And you need those ice bombs too, so you can't get a perfect score on this level. But Harvest Moon 64, I really like that game. Despite its bugginess, like, there was a 30% chance that every time you chopped wood in that game, if it was raining, your game would soft lock and you had to power cycle your machine. So that kind of sucked. But it had some really cool... It had some really cool features too, like, it was still a bug, but if you liked Karen like I did, you could get married to her. Well, you couldn't get married to her, but you could raise her to the maximum heart level in one night. Just go to the bar at the end of the day, and since she works there, you can talk to her. And because you're in a building, time doesn't pass. If you bring your dog, you can raise her heart level by 1, and something about the fact that she's working means you can just endlessly give her presents. So just keep showing your dog over and over, and she'll just fall in love with you at the end of the first day. Which is kind of cool. You still have to get the blue feather, which takes forever. And you still have to upgrade your house, which also takes forever, but that's a cool little bug I like. That was a really cool game. I really like that game. But, Harvest Moon 64. I actually have a funny story about Harvest Moon 64. I mentioned this on one video that I went to a Rogers video. It was actually because of Harvest Moon 64. Like, my local video store, which has since closed down, they had a copy, but someone stole it. And I was so sad about that I literally scoured every video game movie rental shop in the entire town until I found one that had Harvest Moon 64, just so I could play it again. It's that good a game. But, man, that game is brutally expensive. Like, that's Conker's Bad Fur Day levels of N64 rarity. And I don't have that game either. I really want to, though. Every time I run into someone who has, like, one, they show me a photo of it, and I just hate them even more. How do I get up there? Crap. Oh, I think I see. Come on. I have no idea how I'm doing this level. Crap. Oh, that's how. Haha. I can still make it on 1 health. Uh-oh, don't kill me. So yeah, that was everything I kind of planned on talking about. Oh, this is random thoughts. Does anyone, when you were kids, did any of you have, like, favorite toys? Because something about Christmas, it made me start thinking about my favorite toys and how, like, I had 4 I could name off the top of my head, and unfortunately 2 of them got stolen, and I really want to get them again, just because I think they'd be cool just to, like, put on my monitor and stuff. In fact, I think I might have brought these toys up earlier, but my top 4 favorite toys were, my number 1 was my stuffed panda bear. Like, I love that thing. I still have it. It's in my closet, which I can see every day because my closet doesn't have a door, because when people decide to renovate the basement, they decided to hire their best friends who didn't do anything. Well, actually, that's not true. They demolished half the house and then left all the electrical sockets exposed, so... In fact, I think there's only 1 electrical socket in the entire basement that works. And I've got everything just sort of coming out of 1 power strip. So, and it's right on my computer, so if there's a fire, that's the first thing that's going to go, next to, like, my backup of my computer, which is sitting on top of it. There we go. That level sucked. But, yeah, my Panda Bear's number 1. Number 2 would probably be my Buzz Lightyear, which I still have. He's long since stopped working. Also, perfect score in the first area. That's a good sign. My Buzz Lightyear, he sits on the, windowsill above my computer, guarding my room from people who want to break in, I guess, protecting my computer. Final bosses of this world, by the way. And they're really tough. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this with my ganked controller, but, oh, and it's this really cool song. These guys are cool. They break out of the ice just to attack you. After my Buzz Lightyear, it would probably be my... I want to say it was either Generation 1 or Generation 2 Optimus Prime, which was made of metal and glass, and it came with the big trailer. It was black and had like chrome lettering that said Optimus on the side. It was like a little playset as well, and it had like this little voice transformer doohickey that would yell, "I'm Optimus Prime," and then just shoot a bunch of lasers. That thing was so cool. And I think I saw it on eBay for like $200, and I'm like, oh, I can't afford that, but I want it. Because pretty much everything I've got sitting on my computer right now is my Master Chief action figure, which my uncle got me. Which, I don't really care for Halo. Actually, that's not true. I think Halo's about 50-50. I like all of the games that didn't involve Master Chief and the first one. But I really don't care for Master Chief as a character. So, maybe I can buy a Samus action figure to stomp on him or something. After that, my 4th favorite toy, which is the last one I can think of, was my old Dinobot action figure from Beast Wars, which was pink. These guys are annoying, and I think you have to kill every one of them to finish the level. He was pink, which was weird. I don't think there's ever been a accurate Dinobot model. Like, there's the pink one, and then there's one that was orange. Oh no, you gotta destroy the screws, that's right. Because it's like Rocket now. I should do like a Let's Play of Rocket. Rocket's a cool game. I really like that game. I still say it's like the best 3D platformer on the N64. But yeah, Dinobot, he was pink, he had his big spinny helicopter shield thing. Which he only used in the show one episode. Granted, it was like the best episode. And I have to hand it to Scott McNeil for his fantastic voice acting to play Dinobot. Oh, that's something. Scott McNeil. I don't think I've ever said this, but, like, when I made my game, I kind of knew what my characters sounded like. And Scott McNeil was one of 2 voice actors that sounded, like, dead on for my characters. So, I think if I ever managed to get all of my assets together, all 15 years of them, Christ, that's gonna be a lot of work ahead of me still. But, if I ever get a budget together and can get some voice actors, I'd love to have Scott McNeil work and reprise his role as a character that sounds exactly like Duo in the pervy, clumsy assassin character, the 3rd male lead, because that would be cool. The other voice actor that sounds exactly like one of my characters is, as I've said in my Final Fantasy review, which you probably haven't seen, is a woman I've gone on record as saying has the most beautiful voice I've ever heard. And part of it's because she sounds like this character. But that's the lovely Miss Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. And that's actually how I found her. I was working on my game, I assume, on my computer, and I turned on my... words are hard when you're tired and not used to talking. I turned on my TV while I was working on my computer, and I was, channel surfing just to give me something to listen to in the background. And I heard something, and I was like, wait, what is that? And I ended up flicking back a few channels, and I found Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, which has since gone on to be one of my favorite animes, like right behind Gundam Wing and Kenshin. But, she sounds dead set as my female lead character. So, other voice actors that would be perfect would be, probably my favorite voice actor of all time, Cam Clark. He's pretty close to my main character's voice, I think. I can see Yuri Lowenthal being the sort of best friend type character, second male lead. And for the second female lead, I could see Jennifer Hale doing that very well. For the third female lead, I would try and get Kari Wellgren, because I imagine she sounds pretty similar to this character. But if I couldn't get her, I would try and get Tara Platt. And if I got Yuri Lowenthal, they're kind of a package deal, because they always seem to show up in the same game. I wonder if that's just something in their contracts, like, if you hire one of us, you have to hire the other. They had a fantastic book. If you're ever interested in being a voice actor, check out their book, Voiceover, Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic, I think is what it's called. I actually own a copy. It's pretty good. I don't really have any aspirations to be a voice actor. I don't think I could do it. I've actually got incredibly weak vocal cords, but I just want to support them. I really like them both. They're very talented, and they're really cool people. Speaking of my really crappy vocal cords, that actually cost me a job once. Oh, I got a 2 on that last level. Shit. Like, I can't... And I hate this about myself, like, I have to edit my own voice, so I really hate this. I sound really freaking monotone, and I really try not to, but I really can't help it. And I can't raise my voice or change the tone of my voice too much. And, I found this out while working once. I worked at a convenience store, which shall not be named because they did a bunch of illegal shit and fired me because of it, which is a whole nother story, but, one time, because you're working convenience, you have to, like, welcome people into the store. For those of you who don't know, that's not actually just being friendly, that's actually, like, an anti-theft thing. You're, like, acknowledging their presence, like, hey, I'm watching you, but you're doing it in sort of a not overly creepy way. But, I'd acknowledge people, and, my jerk bitch manager was, standing next to me one day, and, she yelled at me for not, acknowledging the customers. And she actually went and talked to him. He was like, yeah, he totally acknowledged us, it's fine. But she yelled at me anyway, and I'm like, okay, look, you want me to raise my voice? That's fine. I will do that, and after 5 minutes, I'm gonna go home because I won't be able to speak anymore, and I won't be in for another month. And that's kind of a problem with me, is I can't raise my voice, because if I do, I'm out for a month. So I kind of have to keep things at a normal level. I physically can't yell. Which, I guess sucks, but... Oh, crap, is this that? Oh, no. Oh, it's this bastard level. This is the level that has the collectible bomb that isn't in adventure mode that I promised I would collect, and I'm gonna do it. I searched every level about 20 times for this stupid thing, because they don't ever show up in these, like, minigame levels. And it showed up once, and I'm bitter as all hell about it, and I'm gonna grab it, and it's right by the bottom. So we're gonna hang it down here as much as we can. And it should be in one of these, like, circular archway type things, I think. I think we jump into a teleporter and then we end up back here. But this is the last full-size level after this. I'm not sure. Depending on the timing, I might do the next level and the secret level together tomorrow. But I think if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of extra stuff I'd plan to do with the secret level in another video, as well as like the bonus video I'm kind of tentatively planning on. I'm not sure if I have the money to go for it, but at the same time, I want to do it anyway, so I probably will. And we hit the teleporter, and we're going to go down as fast as possible, because there is a collectible bomb thingy down here, and I'm going to grab it. Stupid bastard collectible not supposed to be down in here. Piece of shit. I'm really freaking bitter. You have no idea how many hours I spent looking for this goddamn thing. And I think it's right here behind this wall. Yup, there it is. There. And then we have to fight this kind of cool boss. This kind of reminds me of an enemy from Secret of Mana. A little bit, I think it was Secret of Mana. There's plenty of games that have enemies like this, I guess. Now we gotta shoot the stomach. That's kind of annoying. You can't, I like that it guards its, Ow. Well, that sucks. Now I'm gonna have to get that stupid goddamn bomb again. Anyway. Oh, and the next level's kind of connected to this one in a sort of neat way, but it's also a really pain-in-the-ass level. But this is the last full level. After this, the next level is just a boss gauntlet of like all the final bosses you fought before, although remixed slightly so they're harder. After that, there's the secret world, which is only 3 levels long, and not like 3 worlds, but seriously just 3 levels. A jetpack level, an adventure level, and a boss. There's some extra secret stuff I want to do with that. But then we're done Bomberman Hero, and I guess that's the end of Bomber Week. Oh, it's been fun, though. I always enjoy playing Bomberman on the N64. Oh, I missed it. I'm gonna die. Extra life and health. I gotta stop doing that. Back to Harvest Moon. You know what was a really terrible one? Was A Wonderful Life. Like, it had marriage, but... Oh, crap. It had marriage, but they forced you into it. Like, if you don't know, Harvest Moon is a game where you get to, like, essentially live your own farm life and decide your own path through life and stuff. I made a review on it. You should go watch it. Harvest Moon A Wonderful Life was terrible because that game had a definitive end, and it only had a set amount of time you could play it in. Like, after the first year, you had to be married. If you weren't married, they would marry you to someone against your wanting to. Because after that, every year after that, up to the final level, or the final year, which is you just faffing about till your character dies, you are raising your child. In a really obtuse, backwards-ass way. It was just not very good. I don't know why people like it. If you're gonna get a Harvest Moon on the GameCube, just get Magical Melody. That one's... Yes, Magical Melody. I'm confusing myself with different Harvest Moons. But yes, that one was good. Well, it was better. It had some really ear-piercingly bad Foley work, though. Like, everyone's introductory sound effect is like the most annoying thing ever. Like, I've heard people like blow out their speakers with these sound effects from that game. Still was kind of fun. The only reason I still own Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is just so I could get the seaside cottage in Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town, which I did get, along with the 100-year marriage anniversary mountain cottage, to which I immediately learned my copy was pirated and the battery died. And that was depressing as all hell. And then I went and bought a new one, and I haven't gotten anywhere near close to finishing since, so that's depressing. If you ever want to buy a Game Boy Advance cartridge on the internet, don't, because they're all pirated, and they all suck. Like just take my example of my copy of Harvest Moon, or if you want a really sad story, my copy of, what is it, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance? Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, where I've gone through 8 different copies and still don't have a working one. Also, Sonic Pinball. I got the really fantastic Sonic Pinball on the Game Boy Advance, and it does not work. Snake. Now this one connects to the last level, in that the giant snake heads show up and attack you. And this level's a pain in the ass. There they are. And I'm not sure if you can actually kill them in this one. I think I can make that jump. Yeah! Aw. I totally had that jump too, that was bullshit. But, yeah. Don't buy Game Boy Advance cartridges online. It doesn't work. Not at all. I mean, hell, we have one game shop that isn't at GameStop in this town, and it knows it, so it charges like 20 times what everything's worth. Pretty much every Game Boy Advance cartridge in their case is pirated, and every time I go there I have to point that out to them, and they remove all of them. Just because, so many pirated... I'm so bitter about that. I still have my old Game Boy Advance, though. It was, clear pink. Doesn't work very well anymore. The D-pad's kind of broken on it. I need to get an SP, but, they're so expensive. I'd like to get a, Mini so I could modify it into, like, a Nepgear. That'd be kind of cool. Match my Neptune Dreamcast. I still have to, put the working Dreamcast guts into that, but... Nope, I've done all the levels, and now we go fight Nitzrog, or Nitros, depending on whether you can read anything. And you've gotten more than an average of 2 hours of sleep every day of your life. And unfortunately, I believe we have to fight this guy one more time on the Boss Rush planet. Yes, I might have the lost disc. I'm not really sure. I haven't been paying attention to the plot. I'm guessing I do. Go team. And I think this is the one where he actually summons flamethrowers into his world. That's still such a stylish eyepiece. Yep, these little red things all shoot out fire. Although he does not have his death shield this time. And that's good, because that means killing him's a lot faster. Although we are trying to go for slow... screw it, I'm not going to worry about it on bosses. I'm also not going to live, apparently. What is this, like the... Oh, I thought that was game over. I've been like the third one, I think. It's kind of sad that Louis' existence is for 2 levels and then you don't see him ever again. But that's sort of the case with... Also, he can stand on the flaming stove top panels and we can't. That's such... BS. And now he just chucks a bomb line in front of him. Classic Bomberman style. Also, you got to see the flamethrowers. So, now you've seen everything this game has to offer, except me freezing that jungle over. And I realized since then that I actually misread that. You don't need the ice bombs, you need to rolling bomb the ice flower. And I feel stupid about that, so maybe I'll do something about that at some point. But, yeah. That's, Nitzrog. Same guy as always. He just likes to chuck one extra move into his arsenal and it's still boring. I remember that the Bomberman Max Game Boy Color games had like a level you could access. I'm getting sick, my throat's really screwing up on me. But they had like a secret level you could access by pointing a remote control at it. And I always tried this, but I could never access it. But if you want to see a really cool take on Bomberman, get the Game Boy Advance Bomberman Tournament, which is actually a top-down Zelda-style game. Which is a weird way to do Bomberman, but it works in a weird way. I really like it. Although it kind of messes with the Bomberman Max story. Although I don't think any of the games have ever followed the Bomberman Max story at all. They just sort of include the character of Max and say, yeah, this guy's here, and we're going to make his relationship to Bomberman completely different in every game. And completely separate from the anime. And it's that fantastic elevator music, as always. And I'm gonna completely ruin the audio by dropping my water mug. But, yes, the next 3 levels are us finding discs in some of the cooler areas of this game. And then, we have to go to the Garadin Star after this, which will be tomorrow. But I think after these 3 levels we just fight the boss. I want to say... Yes, I can rescue her later because her safety is not remotely relevant. And that's totally what she'd say because that's very clearly not a hologram or a false version of her. But, Bomberman Hero, still a good game. And now we get to enjoy 3 rooms that are kind of gimmicky that we don't run into ever again. And they give us this weird little hub area for this area. And you don't see it again if you ever replay the levels. They just sort of chuck you in, so it... And they only let you walk into one room. Like, I can't go to the other rooms. I am forced to go into that blue room because that's the level I selected. So I don't know why that room even exists. But now we've got crazy giant vents. And I believe the disc is at the top, and then it acts like a key, because we have to get the disc and then go to the exit, I believe. Whoosh. So what else has been going on? I hear a bunch of amiibos are being discontinued, if you're enjoying those. I'm kind of enjoying my one Samus guy. I'm kind of thinking maybe about getting, like, Mega Man and Shulk, because I hear because I both like, Mega Man and Xenogears. I'm a little bit bitter that Xenogears is... Oh, I got the collectible bomb thing. That's nice. But I hear Xenogears is getting a 3DS release, but only on the newer ones, and the older ones can't play it. I can't begin to tell you how bitter I am about that. Because I waited on a 3DS for the longest time. And now they've actually got a game I'd really like to play on it, and I can't. I really like Xenogears. Loved Mega Man, so I want to... Yep, I need the disc. So where is it? Oh, there it is. And now it acts like a key, because we can leave. That's a nice sound effect. That's a really powerful, like, drill sound effect. 1 star. Awesome. But yeah, the Mega Man and Shulk amiibos are coming out in... I think late February, so maybe I'll pick them up for myself as like a late birthday present or something. This is a neat level because it increases your jump height to insane levels. And they've got these paper airplane enemies which are kind of cool. And they've got these jelly squishies. I still like them. They remind me of the enemy models from Tales. I wonder what Tales game they're going to release next year. Like, they've been releasing, like, 1 every year. This year they released 2, although 1 was a re-release. I still really dug it. But I also really dig Tales of Symphonia. Tales of Xillia 2 did some weird stuff. Like, the main character, they made a mute. But only kind of. Because the main character was mute, except he still talked to people. So, it didn't make sense that he was mute. Because that's only really done if they want to make the character a sort of avatar for the player. but there was really not all that much that a player needed the avatar to do, and the character still talked. In fact, there were times where you'd actually run into the character and he'd give you like a full line of expositional dialogue, and it's like, I want to be this guy. Why do I have to be stuck with mute you? Oh right, I have to hit that thing. I think it's becoming increasingly apparent I get on average about 2 hours of sleep a night. But, you know, it's what I do. Now super slow, super high jumping. That's the big gimmick of this world. This room. But it's cool. And the next one, if I recall, the next one was actually really creepy when I was a kid, because they have these enemies that only show up in that world. So we'll try and find them. This control is super slow, and it doesn't help that my controller is borked. And then I think the disc is under that platform. Where's the thing for that platform? Ooh, extra life. Oh, I didn't want the points, I just wanted the extra life. I kind of dig the sort of cinematicness of that throw, though. Stop picking up stuff. Throw. Oh, it's so slow. And yet jumping is super fast. What's up with that? Bomberman Hero. You don't make a lot of sense in a lot of ways, but you're certainly a fun game. And now we can leave, although there was no sound effect that time. Rank 1. Awesome. Kinda sad we got that additional, like, 4 points, though. Mirror room. Back to this stupid hub. And now we get this weird mirror room. And several games have done this sort of thing. Sonic Adventure did it. And then we hit the button with that. Oh, wait. Nope, he doesn't drop a bomb. That's right, I have to. And the entire floor is stove hot, so you can't touch it. I don't know why they put this, like, visual aid on this side, though. Like, it's pretty apparent that's where you're supposed to go. Just from the mirror. And then you drop a bomb there, and then you hurt yourself, because that's just how I roll. And you go in here, and now you're in the mirror. And these really creepy-ass bomber ghosts show up. And then I try and avoid them because they scare me. Well, they did when I was a kid, not anymore, really. Can't really think of too many things I'm really scared of nowadays. Haha. Can't get me, you smelly ghosts. And now we gotta go fight the boss, which is actually 2 bosses, and is, at least when I was a kid, was one of the most annoying fights in the game. But first, some story. Now we give the princess the discs, who somehow got rescued, and was clearly not a hologram to begin with. And this is clearly the princess and not an imposter. Except she totally is. And now we get to fight her, kind of. Except we get to fight her, and then an additional boss, and it's very tough. Oddly enough, during the boss rush, you have to fight both bosses that you have to fight now separately, and they're both pretty tricky. Yes, the 4 discs of things that they never really explain what the discs are. They're just discs of plot MacGuffin importance. But it's Natia, the kind of creepy, scantily clad BSDM cat lady. And then you have to go fight her and her creepy robot Kronos, I think. I think that was the name. Kronos. Kronos was part of the name of the game I made. But now we have to go fight her and her misspelled robot. And we have to fight them together, which is fun. And keep in mind, they have full life bars each. And you don't... And they can both hurt you, but you can only hurt one of them at a time, which is great. Because you can hit her, but I'm pretty sure after a certain level of damage she just leaves, and then she regains all her health. And then those missiles track you. And of course, sideways movement is totally what I'm good at with my junked controller. Whoa! I actually remember seeing a... Ow. And she laughs really annoyingly when you get hit. And she's dancing. Maybe she part-time pole dances or something. I don't know. Ow. I remember a screenshot from this game in a magazine back in the day. But what was weird is it came with a image of Bomberman that was Bomberman in his bomber armor from Bomberman Second Attack. And it confused me why I never saw Bomberman in that armor in this game. Because I didn't realize they were making another game after this. But that was the one thing this game didn't have that both other Bombermans on the N64 did. They had custom characters. And the neat thing about that is, to get your custom character points, you had to earn them. You had to go find them in levels. Like Second Attack, you could buy some of them, but for the most part, if you wanted them, you had to do all these crazy tricks and find them in the levels. And one of the proudest things in my life is that I got the gold armor in Bomberman 64, which required you to get all the collectibles and beat the game in under 3 hours. And unfortunately, someone stole my game cartridge that I had that on and my memory card, so I don't have that anymore, and I'm not ever getting that again. Ow. So I will always have that in memory, and I think you can actually use the I didn't want to kick it, I wanted to drop it. Crap. And then you gotta go fight her, and then eventually you knock her off her platform, and she comes and fights you for real. So she basically has 3 health bars if you include her robot. This fight is so cheesy. But I really worked hard getting that gold armor. That's one of the harder things to do, because not only do you have to get the all the collectibles in under 3 hours, but one collectible in each level requires you to beat it like speedrunning, and one of it requires you to beat it with a high score. So you essentially have to beat each level twice, which is automatically taking a long time. And then you have to do the secret world and collect all the collectibles from there too, and the secret world in that game is just insane. I actually mentioned this in the first Bomber Week video, but I generally, every time I play one of those levels, I have to pause the game and like stare at it for a couple hours before I even have an idea of what I need to do. It's just, those are so hard, those levels. And they generally require you to have like the super powered bombs. Oh, crap, explode. Come on, die. Oh, I don't know where things are spatially. Come on, die. Die, you misspelled giant spider robot. This guy reminds me of the spider robots from Earth Siege. Anyone ever play that game? That game was brutal. Like, and that game had like hive mind AI where you could kill one enemy, and in fact it happened where like there was a level with just one enemy, and if you killed it, literally a million others would just spawn around you. That game was so brutally hard. That was like the great thing, like those were mechs that needed to be piloted by 2 people, like even in this story. Your mech was piloted by yourself and like a co-pilot. So they were a pain in the ass to pilot. In fact, that was the giant crux of that game, is the robots you were fighting could pilot their mechs. Like, they were integrated into their mechs, but they could also pilot their mechs on their own. And they were insane and broken. That was also the game where they physically removed your brain and added them, or added your character to their fleet if you died. That game was a little grim. Maybe I should boot that up sometime and play that again. And lose again. I think I mapped out like the entire first stage. There. And now I get to fight this actual boss, who's gonna chuck knives at us. And completely... Whoa! There was a boss like this in Second Attack that chucked knives at you. She had an instant kill move, and if you got hit with it, even if you were prepared for like the ultimate good ending, you would automatically get the bad ending. Like, you'd survive her one-hit kill move, but you lose the good ending. Whoa. And that means she's gonna, like, teleport around you. I hate this boss. This is always, like, one of the hardest bosses in the game. Oh. Come on. And of course the camera isn't exactly helping. And of course I've got one bomb, so... Oh, come on. And you know what's great about this character? Not only do you have to fight her and her robot separately, you have to fight her and a clone when you fight her. Also, you have to fight her robot and a bunch of her mini-robots. So basically, the fights are completely stacked against you. I'm actually doing really well for like a second, third attempt. Usually this boss takes me like 10 or 20 tries. I'm surprised I managed to do this well so soon. Like, this fight was one of the things that usually halts a Bomber Week playthrough quite often, is just how tough Natia is, or however you pronounce her name. She's a weird amalgamation of character traits. I mean, she's clearly BSDM, she's wearing very little clothing, she's got a whip, she's got knives, she seems to pole dance, and she's just annoying. And she cheats and has a crazy robot. And I killed her off screen. And I got a perfect score. I don't think I could have ended that fight any better, or more climactically. And we've now rescued the princess, for real. And this one is not her, although it might not also be the princess. I don't remember. I think this is actually the princess, although I keep forgetting how this game... I don't remember how this game ends, nor do I remember where this goes after the sodding last fight we did, because that one usually stops me, because that fight's just really dumb. Take me with you! So I can chuck you at the airlock for all the crap you've put me through. No. No. It's like, yes, you take Princess to Bomber Star, I'll team up with Bomber Black, and we'll get shit done, because he knows how to really kick ass. Actually, Bomber Black does show up in the ending, I think. Like, twice. Because Bomberman can't fly the ship alone, I guess, or something. But, that was the Mazone Star. The final full planet of Bomberman Hero. Those 2 points. That's so frustrating. We were literally like 3 points away from a perfect score. Granted, this was the lowest score we could get, so that's good, but 3 points short of perfect. That's frustrating. Anyway, I think that fight ended fairly climactically. Lowest score yet. Good sign, good sign. Maybe we'll get straight ones during the boss rush of cheapness on Planet 5, the Garodin Star. This has been Bomber Week Day 4, Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow.